Og sådan en fantastisk kvinde her til IFBB Pro Seminar Loaded Cup 2012. Er I klar til at give dem en stor bifald efterhånden, som de kommer ind her? Den første skal give en stor hånd. Det er LARISSA REIS. Den næste herre, vi skal byde velkommen til, det er James. Men vi skal også lave en masse navn for James Flex Lewis. Vi skal lave endnu mere larm nu for Mr. Olympia 2011, Phil Heath! Vi har en mikrofon heroppe hos topatleterne. Hvor er Stellan? Vi har en mikrofon her. Vil du have den her, Stellan? Skal jeg lige tjekke, om den er tændt? Ja, det synes jeg. Du får den der. Guys, welcome to Loaded Cup 2012. Nice to see you. If you could just introduce yourself. Start with LARISSA first and go all the way down. Me and Stellan are gonna go down here to the audience and be ready to throw the microphone in their faces so they can ask you some questions. So please present yourself.
Hello, Denmark. It's my first time here. I'm very excited, and I want to say thank you for the support, and thank you, Load Cup, for the invitation. I hope I can share a little bit with you guys, motivate and inspire. Thank you.
I'm Dennis James. This is my first time here in Denmark. No, I've been here a few times, and you know, it's good to see that Stellan brought back the Loaded Cup, and I'm really proud to be a part of this 2012 Loaded Cup with guys like Flex, LARISSA, and Phil, of course. So it's good to come back to Denmark and see that, because I told Phil and I told everybody that the Danish crowd is the most craziest crowd I've ever been to. So I'm pretty sure that you guys won't let me down tonight, okay? All right.
First things foremost, guys, thank you so much for all support this year. Introduce myself, Flex Lewis. Just want to thank, again, each and every one of you coming out to see us four. Don't hold back any questions. This is what we're here for. And again, thank you so much for Stellan to bring me out. A couple of years ago, as you know, we tried to come out here then, but I give you my word, if Stellan brought back the Loaded Cup, I'll be first in line to come here, and true to my word and true to Stellan's word, he's brought me out here to Denmark to see you guys. So again, thanks for everyone coming out, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you in the foyer, in the crowd, whatever. Thank you.
Well, thank you. As you know, I'm Phil Heath, the current Mr. Olympia champion. It's my first time here in Denmark, and Dennis, you were right. This crowd is pretty intense, and we haven't even taken our clothes off yet, so this is pretty cool. But definitely want to say thank you to all the people that have shown up today. You know, I just got here and there was a huge line outside, and you know, this is what bodybuilding is about, you know, for guys like us. You know, we travel around the world, and we hope to be able to meet each and every one of you guys to provide some inspiration, some motivation, and things like that. And that's what this seminar is here about. So this is all about you guys. Like Flex said, you know, ask us pretty much anything, I'm sure. And but like I said, this is about you guys right now. And you know, I do hope that we can, you know, hit some good stage shots for you later on today. And you know, get on with the show. But first and foremost, I just want to say, you know, thank you all again. Thank you, Stellan. Thank you, Dan. You know, everybody that was involved with the Loaded Cup. Like I said, this is the first time I've been here, and hopefully it won't be my last. So on with the seminar. Thank you very much.
Yes. Så, drenge og piger, så er der en rigelig med mulighed for at stille de her mennesker nogle spørgsmål. Hvis der er noget, man godt vil spørge om, så er det nu. Så er det bare op med lappen. Stellan står herovre i den side, og jeg står her. Så er det op med lappen. Don't be shy. Questions?
Your physique has changed a lot since that time, and I was just wondering what changes you've made in your training regimens since that's the fact that you've now become the Mr. O.
I think, I do think that since Florence, you know, some things have changed obviously, but I think the main thing was time. Little do people realize is that I didn't grow up being a bodybuilder. You know, I grew up playing basketball of all sports, and then later on, after playing in college, you know, I started bodybuilding. So I never really lifted until I would say like 22, 23 years old. With that said, I turned pro very fast, so then everyone was seeing me at the beginning of my career. Normally, you see a guy that turns pro, you know, they've already been training a lot. And they're almost at their pinnacle of their career where they're not going to make too many more improvements. Whereas for me, you know, I came into the industry a lot smaller, had some weak points in here and there, and really it was just time and effort. And that's why, you know, it's been really cool for me to even see the transformation each and every year, but really there was no secret other than, you know, just making it more serious every year, making sure that even while I'm traveling around the world, like in Florence, for instance, it was very pertinent that myself, along with Melvin and all the other guys, you know, got with the promoter and made sure that we ate, you know, 7-8 times a day, made sure that we trained, and that's why we had the gym set up, you know. But that's the biggest thing for me, is making sure that I treated bodybuilding as a business, not just as a hobby anymore. You know, I love bodybuilding as my hobby, but I have to be very serious. So even while I'm in Denmark, you know, I have to make sure I train and make sure I eat. But I would say the biggest thing was just understanding that a lot of people said that I had a lot of potential early on, and in order for me to succeed at that, I had to be willing to make less mistakes with my training and my eating habits, because everyone else had maybe 10 plus years ahead of me. So really that's all it was. I mean, it's I know everybody in here wants to know a secret or this or that, but really it was just being consistent and making sure that I didn't make the other mistakes that other people were making.
Thank you. And just one last question. What was the feeling inside you when you were on stage in Vegas, taking the old title away from your good friend Jay Cutler?
I would say it was pretty amazing, for a simple fact that I remember in 2010 I placed second at the Arnold Classic to Kai Greenan, and I wanted to show everybody that I could be first at the Mr. Olympia that same year, and it didn't happen. I remember standing on that stage with Jay in 2010 and thinking, this is my moment, this is my moment. And I didn't, it was almost like I felt at that time it was 50-50, like, oh, well, if I get second, that's cool. Well, going into 2011, I thought, screw second place, like, I'm gonna be first, I'm gonna be first. So my mentality changed, and when I was standing on that stage on Saturday night at the 2011 Mr. Olympia, I kept telling myself, you're gonna win this. And then even Jay knew it, and he felt like, you know, well, this is your time, and how does it feel? And I just told him, like I'm telling everybody here, it was the best feeling probably I've ever felt. And I think that's what drives me even more to want to repeat as the Mr. Olympian champion, you know, is to have that same feeling exhilaration. Hearing the fans, not one fan at that show were booing. Not one. And usually at the Olympia, there's people that say, well, I thought he should have won, or I thought he should have won. No one there said anything. So that was probably the coolest moment.
Ja, nogen der har nogle spørgsmål? Der er her. Er du først, Dylan? Så sætter jeg mig klar herovre.
Hi, this question goes out to all of the athletes on stage. You always hear a lot of people, train high intensity, low intensity, and so on, and it works, all of it, mostly, for most people. And I just want to turn that around and ask, would you guys give one advice each of what not to do ever, in your own experience, that didn't work at all regarding training?
I'm the young buck up here. Let me give it a DJ.
Ladies first, yeah.
We have one gentleman here. Thank you, Dan. So, I came from the high-intensity train since I start. So, to be honest with you, I never had another type of train. So, I think that's the most, for me, that's what always I did and what worked for me.
Now the young buck.
I missed, what was the question again? I'm sorry. No, seriously, I missed the question. Was it what was the question? Different training styles. I'm sorry, mate, I'm sorry. I've tried a multitude of different training styles. Coming from the UK, I had the opportunity to train with Dorian at a very young age. And when I went to the States, I trained with Dennis, we trained with Milos. At the moment, I've got a training style which is, I follow the Y3T principle, which pretty much each week it changes. It goes from low volume to on the third week high volume. So basically it's always constantly changing. I've been basically doing that for the last couple of years and injury free, and I managed to get over a lot of plateaus. So I'm a big advocate of training with intensity, bottom line. Very fast, short and sharp. I don't like to be in the gym too long, and I only train one singular body part every time I train. So with that said, with the training changing constantly, I feel like I'm getting that heavy training in 1 week, and the second week is heavy with isolated exercises, and then the third week is pretty much giant sets, drop sets, a lot of high volume. So I hope that answers your question.
Did you guys understand that?
This guy, these guys, I swear, because I'm the young guy in the scene, these two been bugging me all day long. So if any opportunity I'm going to get back at them, believe me, on stage, off stage, I'm going to get back at them, okay? Just so you guys know.
Regarding training, I'm going to be honest. I tried it all. I did it all. And I think if you have the least amount of, genetics, then, everything works. Because like I said, whatever I did, everything worked. So I couldn't really tell you, what didn't work, because I never had a problem growing. So, but if you ask for what is it that I wouldn't do anymore, I'll definitely would never try to train around injuries, because a lot of people have injuries and they think they can train around it. And I think by doing something like that, you're going to hurt yourself more than you help it. So this is the only advice that I would give you. When you're hurt, give your body some rest, don't train. And other than that, you have to find out what works for you. You can't basically go by somebody else that says, yeah, high intensity works for me, low intensity works for him. You figure out what works best for you, and then, like I said, if you have a little bit of genetics, you're going to have success no matter what.
Damn, it was quiet. I would agree with what Dennis is saying. Early on in my career, I was reading every magazine article there was about training, and I pretty much tried it all. It definitely worked for me too, but I think the biggest thing was, in addition to what Dennis said about training around injuries, is making sure that the form is actually good and the range of movement. I think the biggest downfall with a lot of guys is that they get too caught up in the actual poundage that is being used and not focusing on the actual range of movement. So, you know, I always looked at it as, well, if I have to go a little lighter in weight, that's okay, because I'm not trying to be a strongman, a power lifter. I'm trying to sculpt the body and make the body, you know, round and separated, like what you see like on contest day for me. And I would say the biggest thing is just to check my ego at the door, making sure that, you know, I'm not concerned about what other people are saying or what other people are doing, making sure that I'm in tune with myself. And then also, if there's an exercise that I don't feel that is working for me, I completely quit that exercise and move on to something else. And I'm not worried about, like for instance, if I'm doing a flat bench press and I just don't feel right, I will stop, take a breath, try it again. If it doesn't work, then I switch to another exercise, because maybe I am hurt, or maybe, you know, I'm just not as motivated for that particular workout at that time. But yeah, I've tried, like I said, I wouldn't say that one style is better than another, but I would say that it's definitely your intensity and that your intelligence with who you are and making sure that you're not overexerting yourself using bad form.
All right. Question down here.
To Dennis James, you've since you retired back in, I don't remember when it was, but
September 2010.
Yeah, you've stayed obviously pretty big, and I've read a lot of times online that people who have seen you lately said that you could compete anytime, and now I've seen it for myself. So, with the rumors that the Masters Olympia maybe would be back, do you even consider competing anymore, or do you just stay in a good shape for your own health and well-being?
What did you hear about Masters Olympia? What do you know that we don't know yet?
Well, you know, muscular development.
Oh, yes?
But, you know, there was the Masters competition.
There was in December,
yes, last year.
Yes.
So if a competition like that would arise again, would you consider it?
You know what? I'm going to be perfectly honest. You know, the thing is, when I retired at the Olympia, I told myself this is it, because I told myself about 2 years before that, no, I didn't tell myself. I promised my wife that I would retire. So in 2 years, I broke my promise. You know, so I was like, you know what? Let me make it 10 Olympias and then I quit. Okay? So she said, all right, that's the last one. If you don't quit after that, I'm gone. She told me that, seriously. So of course I quit, and then there was the Masters last year, you know. But I said to myself, listen, I just retired, you know. I cannot come back the following year, not even like just a little over a year. What kind of retirement is that? So of course it was. I never thought about it, not even once. You know, Masters Olympia sound better. You know what I mean? Because it's a show that, you know, it sounds like it's the biggest show for Masters, but. The thing is this, you know, I know I have another one in me to be competitive, but I'm not sure if my wife would play that shit with me, because, you know, I'm serious. I mean, I thought about it and I talked to a few people, you know, because I heard it too, you know, through the grapevine. It's not 100%, but so I was like, you know what, that would be kind of cool, you know. But like I said, man, I ain't got to talk this out with myself. I got to get this. I need to find somebody who can talk it to my wife, so I can't ask. You know, yeah, because I couldn't even ask. So, you know, if somebody is a good lawyer or somebody has a good way of, you know, getting people to kind of flip over, and, you know, then I would maybe consider it.
But she's letting you stay big.
This is me. I was always big. I will never get small. You will never see me small. I mean, small for me is still big for average people. But I didn't even mean to come across like that. No, what I'm saying is, even when I'm small, I'm still bigger than normal. So, and this is why, you know, I don't think there will be a day where I tried it one time. I tried it with all the possible cardio and no training and everything, but you know, for me to get below 250 is almost impossible. Because everybody in my family is big. My mom is 240. You know what I mean? So we don't have anything less than 240 in our family.
Du har ikke opstillet? Det er godt.
This question for everyone. I know that Phil works with Hani and Flex works with Neil. How instrumental is having a coach or a trainer in your success?
I've been with Neil since I was 19 years old, and he's been a staple in my career, not just on the stage, but off the stage also. He's been a big mentor in my life, and I pretty much wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for him. Again, I've had many chances to go work with other people, but I think a lot of people jump ship easy once the opportunities are there, thinking they're going to bet their career or whatever. But I've won everything underneath him. I was undefeated as an amateur, turned pro at 23, and he believed in me, came around the country out of his own pocket, went to the States out of his own pocket. So again, for me, I show my loyalties with him, and he believed in me since day one. And when the 202 Olympia came about, he was telling me I could win that long before anybody had me on the radar. So having him as a coach behind me most definitely has pushed me as a better bodybuilder, but also as a better person on and off stage.
I actually met Hani Rambod right after I turned pro. I'm trying to think where. Oh, it was at the IFBB North American contest. He was actually working with a couple other guys, and you know, I didn't really know him, you know, other than what I read about him in the magazines, and you know, we shortly became friends right away, and he wanted me to be his client, and it wasn't really until I'd say the Olympia that year Ronnie Coleman won in 05, and I was actually Mr. USA, and I got to hang out with Ronnie Coleman, so I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. I get to see Ronnie Coleman right after the show, and then I'm at a nightclub with Coleman, and Hani Rambod says, you know, hey, you should work with me, and I'm like, no, let's just go party, and then, you know, we'll talk about this another time. But then Ronnie actually said, no, I think that it would be smart to you know, work with Hani because he knows what he's doing. And I said, well, why don't you work with him? He said, well, I work with Chad, and Hani and I are friends, and I don't want it to be a conflict, you know, with our friendship. So, you know, I decided to give him a shot, and, you know, I won my first 2 pro shows. Now, mind you, I never had a prep coach as an amateur. I did everything on my own, so I didn't really feel like I needed anybody. But when it was really Ronnie Coleman who told me, hey, you know, you need someone to try to give you a better perspective on your training, your diet, and that was definitely something that he was very intelligent about. All of his clients at the time were very well conditioned, and I thought, well, if he can make me a little bit tighter, a little bit more shredded, then I'll give him a shot, and it worked. And even when you know, I wasn't winning, the main goal was to, you know, win the war, which was becoming Mr. Olympia. And I remember him telling me that at the very beginning, that there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, you know, just like in life. And it's going to be, the measurement of my success will be based upon what I do when I get knocked down and then get my butt back up. And he was always, you know, a good motivator. And to be honest, I mean, he's a good person because he was able to train not only myself, but train Jay Cutler at the same time and help resurrect Jay Cutler's career in 09 when he smashed us all on that stage, you know. And then, you know, so I'm going to continue to work with him, of course, and hopefully, you know, win another title this September.
Der er spørgsmål dernede, Stellan. Ja, der er langt. Sætter jeg mig ned her for at øl imens.
This question is for Phil. In my honest opinion, your biggest improvement down here, all the way at the back here.
Oh.
Your biggest improvement from the Olympia 2010 to 2011 was your back. What did you do to improve it that much? Is there anything specific that you did?
I would say, you know, every prep I take progress pics and I actually write down a blueprint of what I want to succeed at. So it was in 2007, after the Arnold Classic, I thought that I needed a bigger back then because I was getting beat by guys from behind. So in 2008, I made a big jump. Well, that included a lot of rowing movements. So like a lot of seated rows, a lot of dumbbell rows, a lot of T-bar row, every row, everything. Really underhand barbell rows helped me out a lot in 2007 to 2008. So when I was getting ready for this particular contest, I thought, you know, let's just focus on what we did in previous years because I kind of went away from it. And good thing I did because I improved, but really it was just, I would say the consistency of training heavier and more often. So I was doing back sometimes twice a week during my contest prep because I felt that I could keep it fuller longer. And because of me eating so much, you know, I wasn't really overtraining. So I just really thought that, you know, I had a bigger purpose, obviously. I mean, I was second in the world at the time, trying to become first, and I knew that if I could make it rounder than Jay and guys like Kai and Dennis Wolf and these guys, then I don't think that they could stop me. So I just really just went in there like, well, Hani Rambo basically told me you have to train pissed off. You have to train upset. So that's what I did. But you guys see me, and all the, you know, I'm usually smiling all the time, so it's kind of hard for me to get mad. But you know, for that entire prep, I mean, it was just, you know, I was very, very angry, I guess, and wanted to win. You know, I wanted it more than anything, just like now.
Ja, det var Klaus. Så er det herovre stille.
Yeah, it's a little bit about the nutrition. I'm trying to gain weight at the moment, and it goes for all of you, but I'm a little confused about carbs. How you should eat it, like, yeah, in the bulk, but I mean, like...
I'm not answering this question.
No. It's like, when at the day to eat the carbs, because a lot of guys say, like, don't eat carbs late at the day because it will just turn to fat. But I kind of disagree about that. But
what's your opinion?
I think you should eat the right amount of carbs every meal. Like,
I think you should eat carbs only on Saturdays and Sundays.
Really?
No. You know, because I see you struggling. I can feel you're struggling. So, just eat carbs on Saturdays and Sundays.
Really? Okay, you say so, you're the big guy.
I eat carbs only on Sundays.
Holy shit, yeah.
Dennis, shut up. He's doing.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that was my question.
Okay, go back to your question. What is your problem with the carbs? Do you have any issues with carbs? Are you fat?
No.
Then don't let
I want to gain weight. That's the
okay,
problem.
if you're not fat and you want to gain weight, don't let nobody tell you not to eat carbs. You gotta eat carbs.
Yeah,
Okay?
but each meal, or can I eat it late in the day? But some said like, no, it will just...
If you take your shirt off and show me what you look like, I'll tell you how long you can eat. I'll tell you what time to stop. But I gotta see what you look like. Yeah, I need to see what you look like so we can assess your physique.
Are you ready?
We'll take it from there.
I think you should go for the carb after 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I think you should have carbs with meal 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. basketball player, so that's why I also have a lot of. It's hard for me to gain because I do a lot of running here, and I'm a guard, so
Well,
I need to
then
run all
eat.
the time.
Trust me. If you eat, if you run, eat all the time. Don't worry. If you're hungry, eat.
Okay, thank you.
Don't worry about it.
Real quick, you said he played basketball, so maybe I can help you. So, you know, I played basketball and it was very tough. How often do you train though, with weights? How often?
Like 5 times a week.
5 times a week, so like for like what, an hour, 2 hours?
Yeah, I try to keep like high intensity.
You might have to train a little heavier and things like that, you know, but these guys are clowns. How often are you eating? Like, what's a meal size for you? Like, Then that means it's small. So like.
No, I try to eat big, but it's also, yeah, I go to school, but I try to make like meals for like every second and third hour, and I try to eat as much as I can, but I don't see any progress, so I guess I'm not eating enough.
Yeah, you might not be eating enough. Yeah, because like Dennis said, like, you know, he mentioned up to 6 meals, 7 meals. If it sounds like to me that you may be getting maybe what, 3, 4?
No. I eat like 6, maybe 7.
Okay, then I would increase the portion size, and then like Dennis said, you know, have more carbs. You know, you got to carb up, man. I mean, you know, you're gonna run it off, you know, but you gotta, you know, make sure that you're training. And you look pretty young too, so I mean, you know,
yeah,
it takes.
19.
Oh well, gosh, I mean, guys, you should have saw me at 19. I was small as hell playing basketball. So, I mean, it just takes time too, you know. I mean, you're not gonna be, you know, this size, you know, at 19. It's just not gonna happen. But the good thing is that if you stay consistent right now with your eating and stuff, you can definitely get there, you know. But you're doing the right thing. You just have to always consider the source too. You know, a guy that's telling you not to eat carbs, he probably was smaller than you know?
Yeah, but it's also on the internet everywhere, so.
But those people don't have faces.
No.
So you're getting advice from people that, I mean, seriously, this is a big thing, guys.
I'm not trying to follow them, but it's like everyone.
But you are, you're listening to them. Okay. Larissa, tell them what you
No, just don't worry about, a lot of people who has the wrong idea, they cannot eat carbs at night, and everybody's different, you know, everything's depend how your day are, and you're gonna add carbs, and always try to eat carbs with the best carbs, you know, with glycemic index low, and the best carbs, and you don't need to worry about. Especially if you have like do exercise all the time, and you know, it's more dangerous for people who doesn't do exercise at all, you know, and want to eat carbs all the time, and then that's the difficult.
So now you heard it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Who's it down? Yeah. Så vil jeg lige sige, at bare fordi man skriver noget på internettet, behøver man ikke at være professor. Der er utrolig mange på nettet, der har meninger om, hvad man skal æde, og hvordan man skal skide og alt muligt. Det er nyt på det. I går hernede med nogle spørgsmål. Hvad er dig først?
Here's another question regarding dieting and just generally eating. You need to eat a lot to grow. I've encountered sometimes you just get sick and tired of eating. You get 1 or 2 mouthfuls in and you feel full. And I expect that you guys run into that kind of problem once in a while like everybody else does. How do you cope with that? How do you get past that?
Well, if there's no appetite, then you just put in what you can, as long as you have a little bit of food. Even if it's really, I mean, if you usually eat 12 ounces of chicken, you know, as long as you get a couple of ounces in every 2 to 3 hours, your body won't go into a catabolic phase if you have a big meal or not. So you just got to feed it with a little bit. You know, everybody runs. Most of the time, my experience all these years, in the off season, I never had a problem eating. I have problems when as soon as I started dieting, the first 2-3 weeks, I had issues. I couldn't get my meals down until your metabolism starts speeding up, and then you can't wait for your next meal. You know.
My issue is I have really bad appetite at the best of times, even since I was a small kid. So I choose a sport which is obviously based around the dinner table, which has been a learning experience to say the least. So traveling as much as I did as a rookie, I had to learn to eat on the road, and it was difficult. There was no manual out there that says, okay guys, you know, this is bodybuilding. If you're going to Australia, Denmark, as soon as you land, you've got to get rid of all your food, whatever else. With no appetite, for me, it was like, okay, whatever, I'll eat in an hour, eat in 2 hours. Before I know it, I've lost 2-3 meals. So I have to literally, even now, force feed myself. But now it's got easier with the goal in mind. I want that title, so if I'm not eating, I'm not going to win. So it's just like training. Some days you wake up, man, I don't want to go to the gym. Somebody's got that mindset. I never have that mindset. My problem is eating. So my battle, like I said, is eating. So I've got to get through their meals regardless. So if I've got 7 meals to get down me, I will make sure I get all their meals in me, regardless. I want that title. I want that 212 title. So I've got to do whatever I've got to do it. Again, like Dennis said, as soon as I start dieting, my nutritionalist actually ups my meals. So on top of me having a bad appetite in the off season, the increase of food is quite significant. So as the diet goes on though, the amount of food that Neil gives me is ample. I'm never hungry in my diet, never hungry, maybe up until 2 weeks before the show. And I do very little cardio going into last year's Olympia. Just keeping my training at high intensity and doing the amount of cardio I need. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I've always suffered with my appetite. I've not had an appetite like Dennis. I've hung out with this guy many times. Puts me to shame. So yeah, you got to eat, guys, and that's what I tell people to answer that guy's question over there. I know he doesn't sound like he's got suffers with an appetite. People say that the basic question I get asked is, how do I get big? And it's eating. You can train